Get ready, folks, and maybe you'd want to start off by not believing everything you see online, because even though that's something we've heard for years with all the fake news and whatnot, we're going a step further with artificial intelligence. That's right, experts say all of the content we see online could be AI generated as soon as 2026. Is this the start of AI world dominance? Let's find out. First off, let's talk about media manipulation with artificial intelligence. Now, if you haven't been living under a rock, you know about how people can easily Photoshop pictures and videos, plagiarize texts, and whatnot. At this point, it seems like there's no end to this, and clearly there isn't, because we're about to dive into a black hole of AI technology that's gonna make it worse. According to a new report from European law enforcement group Europol, we've got all the reasons in the world to finally step up that vigilance we're talking about. When experts tell you that over 90% of all the online content you see will probably be synthetically generated by 2026, you gotta watch out, because now we're dealing with synthetic and manipulated media that's gonna be a whole lot harder to tell apart. Having said that, let's also give ourselves a few good reminders about AI, because in most cases, synthetic media is gonna be the perfect fit for gaming, improving services, and even improving the quality of life. At the same time, the way everyone's gonna be taking advantage of synthetic media is gonna create a whole new world of disinformation possibilities. As it probably goes without saying, 90% is a pretty scary number for something like this. And yes, we know that we're all already sort of used to the presence of bots, but that's up to a certain degree. This isn't going to be the same. In fact, AI-generated text-to-image programs are definitely making big waves. At the same time, our default isn't necessarily to assume that almost everything around us that's coming into digital contact is fake. Following up, how do you even tell what's real anymore? Every single day, people gotta trust their own perceptions to guide them and tell them what's real and what isn't. But how long until the distinction line becomes blurry or even disappears? Usually, we've given up on the written content and moved towards auditory and visual recordings of an event, and that helps us determine whether all of that's the truth or not. But that happens when media like this can also be generated artificially to show events that never happened in the first place. It can misrepresent events, distort the truth, and frankly create a world of chaos. At this point, there are so many questions with hardly any definite answers. As a matter of fact, the report focused pretty heavily on disinformation that's driven by deep fake technology. At the same time, the 90% figure also raises some other questions. What do AI systems like DALL-E and GPT-3 mean for artists, writers, designers, and other content-generating creators? Is artificial intelligence finally taking over our jobs and erasing the signs of creativity that we have to offer? And circling back to disinformation, people are concerned about the era of an AI-generated world, not to mention the dissemination and consumption of information in a world like this. The digital world is rapidly evolving, and we're all trying to keep up with our own pace. At this point, we do well to remember that big changes are very much in the works, and instead of going ahead with paralyzing fear, we might want to step forward with caution and prepare ourselves for what's next. What's more, lazy scientists are botching research with machine learning they don't understand. That sounds pretty bad, and it is. Machine learning systems have become pretty popular in the world of scientific research, and we're not too surprised. The algorithms are designed to examine complex, wide-ranging data sets for patterns that could easily predict future outcomes. And that saves a great deal of person to hours, and many even hope to find patterns that humans with their traditional methods of data analysis simply can't. Impressive? Definitely, but they're also complex, and it can be notoriously difficult for creators to even explain their outputs. In fact, many have started to cheat to come to a neat solution. In fact, add the reality to the fact that many scientists taking advantage of the technology aren't any experts in machine learning themselves. So what you've got there is a recipe for scientific disaster. With that, a surprising number of scientists using these systems might be making huge methodological errors. And if that trend continues, the ripple effects in academia could be pretty brutal. And the concerns came right after experts came across a political science study that, using machine learning produced data, claimed that it could predict the next civil war. In fact, it even claimed a staggering 90% accuracy. But with a closer look, they found out that the paper was riddled with fake outcomes, which most researchers would call data leakage. In short, something like this happens when a machine learning software is using numbers that it normally shouldn't, and that happens when people are mishandling data pools and messing with the way the model learns. Not to mention, it's a bigger crisis than it looks. Right after the data leakage in the Civil War pattern, Princeton researchers started looking for similar machine learning mistakes in other studies, and the results were shocking. It turns out that there was data leakage in at least 329 papers across a number of fields, including medicine and social sciences. Clearly, AI technology is helpful and designed for accuracy, but with people mishandling the very same technology, it can create false information that could turn out to be a bigger problem than some fake headlines. Now, with stuff like this going on, researchers are facing a reproducibility crisis. It basically means you can't reproduce the results of a study by follow-up research. With that, there's another serious replication crisis that has literally shaken the scientific establishment over the past decade. It's where researchers misused statistics to come up with sweeping conclusions, and that created nothing more than statistical noise in large data sets. Having said that, if it holds up to further scrutiny, it's gonna be a pretty concerning revelation. Robots aside, most research isn't done for no reason. In fact, the goal of most science is to eventually apply it to something or create the foundation for future research. And with the wrong values and data, it won't be of any help. Instead, it might cause further destruction. A single mistake in an information pipeline can have pretty devastating consequences. And with all the hype around the new systems coupled with the lack of training, it's becoming more of a disaster. Up next, many ambitious researchers want to use AI to talk to animals. That's definitely stepping into a new world. It turns out a group of researchers is trying to use machine learning to translate animal languages into something we can understand, and they want to apply the system to the entire animal kingdom. Well, we love the plan. It's pretty ambitious, to say the least. California-based nonprofit Earth Species Project, or ESP for short, plans to be the first to decode animal communication with machine learning. And if and when they do, they plan to make their findings available to the public. While we're at it, animals definitely got their own kinds of nonverbal communication, like bees do some sort of wiggle dance to indicate to each other that they should land on a specific flower. At the same time, even after the seemingly insurmountable challenges the group seems to be facing, they've made quite some progress. In fact, they've even come up with an experimental algorithm that can detect which individual in a noisy group of animals is speaking. Moving on, a second algorithm can generate the mimicked animal calls to talk to them directly. Well, that's a start. Finally, it's time to leverage the disruptive power of AI for better opportunities. It's definitely creating a whole world of problems that we've got to deal with, but let's not sideline the amazing opportunities AI has to offer. If used correctly, we can create a much more advanced digital world that can speed up our quality research and take us forward. Investing in high-quality education and training programs is the most important step right now. It'll help make sure we explore AI technology to its full potential to overcome the challenges we're facing right now. Think about creating a pipeline of tech-savvy workers who are taking advantage of AI's transformative power and creating possibilities. Right now, we've got a window of opportunity, and we can achieve better customer service, seamless transitions, smoother business operations, set our workforce to analytical tasks instead of tedious, repetitive ones, and drastically improve research and data analysis. There's a lot we can do, but we definitely need to be careful, because if not, AI can easily take over. In fact, it's already starting to take over our jobs, even if it's creating entirely new job markets for new tech-skilled workers. Well, that's a wrap for this video. What's your take on the rise of AI-generated content? Do you think it's worth the advancement in technology or leading to AI domination? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. We'll see you in the next one.